Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today I'm creating a very simple Bible journaling page for day 7 of ByTheWell4God's Subject to Change devotional. Now what I've done is I've stamped out this Trellis Stamp, which is meant to be a background stamp, and I stamped it on some wood veneer paper that I had in my stash, and then I just cut it out with an X-Acto knife. Now it did take a good amount of time. I did these trellises on 2 different days because it's a little hard on your hands, but I think it's totally worth it in the end. Now this background I wanted to keep fairly light, so I came in first with some antique linen, and then I'm adding just a little bit of brown with that gathered twigs color. Basically, I'm trying to remake that color that's on that journaling card right there. It's most important for me that those trellises really pop along with that journaling card, simply because it took so long to cut these out, and obviously the verse is the most important part of our journaling process. So I'm coming in with my paper distresser and just rubbing it on the edges of this card just to add a little bit of interest to it, since this is going to be such a simple page. It just kind of elevates it a little bit and makes it a little bit more vintage and grungy. Now I'm coming in with some gathered twigs around that white core that I've kind of scuffed up, and that will just kind of grab onto the ink and make it look more vintage. Now it's time to glue these 2 trellises together. I'm going to glue them horizontally. I just like how that covers the whole page and it gives a diagonal, which is nice as well. Now I'm gluing these together simply so that they don't move and shift as I'm working with other pieces. And now I'm coming in and distressing all the other pieces that I have cut out. Now these are just ephemera pieces, so they were already cut out, but I do go in and kind of get that excess white off. I also go in with an X-Acto knife if there's pieces that are white in the center of the ephemera piece. That way I can see through it and it looks the most realistic. It was a little bit tricky trying to figure out where I wanted these floral pieces placed, but I ultimately decided on this placement. So now it's time to glue down this trellis, and it's best if you have a fine tip on your glue or maybe even a glue stick. I found that this Barely Arched Precision Glue did amazingly. It always does for me, and I basically have it always with that fine tip on it. There are different tips, but that's what works best for me most of the time. So anyways, I glued this down and just pressed it. There was no glue oozing or anything. And now I'm going to kind of try to weave this floral stem down into this trellis so it looks like the flowers are coming out of it, and then glue that down. This was a little bit tricky as I had already glued down that trellis, but if you lift it up pretty quick, it usually, lets you get in there. So I'm making sure that all those leaves are nice and glued down, because sometimes they lift up a little bit with this wood paper that the trellis is cut out from, and so I just want to make sure that there's a good amount of glue to hold them. Since this page is so flat, I do want to add a little bit of dimension, so I'll be adding that with that bumblebee. But first off, we're going to glue down this journaling card. I want to make sure that it's as centered as possible, but I'm not perfect, so it is what it is. So I'll place that down, and then I end up taking out my scrapbook.com foam tape. I have a couple pieces that are small of that foam tape that I end up adding to the outer edge. Not like right here you see on the side. Don't do that. They don't like coming off of that side. But if you add them to the backer sheet around where you get the foam tape off, they come off the backer sheet great, and you can keep small little pieces and use them for small items like bumblebees. I didn't forget to add my date stamp, so I add that to the bottom right hand corner of this page. And then to finish this off, I end up grabbing a bow that I had in my stash that I had previously made. After that, this simple Bible journaling page will be done. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification button so you don't miss any future videos. You can follow me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and I'll try to link everything I use down below in the description. I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.